Hi, this is Enrique. Welcome back to my channel. I really wanted to shoot a video outside for you guys today. Something nice with a good background. But unfortunately, where I'm at today, there's a lot of wind. So that would be counterproductive for my video. And I know a lot of places right now in California, it looks like there's a lot of wind out there. There's a fire going on somewhere near Malibu. And I think that also is driven by the wind that's going on right now. So the weather's not the best. But anyways, today I wanted to discuss a topic that I was thinking about earlier today, as was thinking about all the subscriptions that I've subscribed to over the past couple years. And I do remember back in the day when I was around middle school, high school, signing up for something. I don't know if some of you remember out there, Columbia House and BMG Music. So I used to subscribe to a lot of different magazines, and I used to get a lot of different advertisements regarding the CDs that you used to be able to order. I think it was 9 or 10 CDs for a penny a piece, and then you would just cover the shipping. That was also very enticing for someone that doesn't have a lot of money, that's in middle school or high school, to be able to order CDs that at that point, I think the retail price of CDs were close to like $15 to $20 each. So to get them for a penny a piece, all I had to do was just enter my information, just put bill me later. And also the same thing applied with Columbia House. I think Columbia House had the DVDs. They were also going for, I think it was a penny a piece plus shipping. The only thing is that was the first type of subscription trap that I fell into that I can recall. These companies, they would give you these CDs and these DVDs, but then they would require for you to send back a postcard. I think once a month they would send you something, and you had to reply that you didn't want that item. And if you didn't do anything about it, they would send it to you and they would charge you the retail price, which I think the CD retail prices for them, it was around $29.99. Same thing goes with the DVDs. If you can get a DVD for $20 at the store, maybe the retail price was $35.99 or $29.99. It was a lot higher. I did end up defaulting on this, or they would send me movies or DVDs that I didn't even want. And I ended up getting billed and sent to collections as a middle schooler, or maybe I think I was 15 years old. And I hid all the mail from my parents. I don't know what ended up happening to this. Maybe to this date, they keep sending bills to that address. Who knows? But anyways, that's one type of subscription trap. Nowadays, everything is online. So I did have an instance earlier as well where I got a gift from someone a while back. It was for something called Massage Envy. I don't know if any of you have ever gone to Massage Envy. But I went ahead and decided to use this. I wanted to take some time for myself. And I said, okay, well, I don't know how much money is in this gift card here. But I'll go ahead and check it out. So I went online. I created an account with Massage Envy. They had a introductory $120 for 90 minutes. So I got to my appointment, everything was good. They go ahead and ask you a series of questions about why you're there. And then they try to get you, once everything's said and done, you can even apply the tip to this card. I didn't know how much money was in there. It turned out there was $150 in there. So I did end up using $120 of it that day, including the tip. But there was a $30 left over. So I wanted to go ahead and use it for the next time that I decided to make an appointment. But the employee then goes on to say that they wanted me to schedule another appointment. I didn't realize was that the second appointment was no longer going to be $90 for 120 minutes. It was going to be over $200. I think it was $210 that they want now. So I was thinking, well, I can make the appointment and use the $30, or I could just let go of the $30 and just basically call it a day. But I think I will use it. They said that if you wanted to join a club, then you would get some lower pricing. But that club, you have to be in it for a certain amount of time. So it's not easy to quit these types of things. If you are not the type of person that will continue to use a gym membership or that will continue to use a massage membership, then it's not really recommended for you to get into these types of traps, because a lot of the times these companies, they make it very difficult for you to leave. I know that with other cases, I've had credit card companies as well, that when you sign up with the credit card, they want to put you in something called a purchase protection, and sometimes they will bundle it with other different perks. They make it very difficult as well for you to be able to cancel. They don't let you just cancel right away. It's kind of like when you're going to a timeshare presentation, 90-minute presentation. They don't allow you to they don't let you go right away, right? They try to get you left and right. They keep you on the phone. They keep you entertained to see how long, who's the one that's going to give up first. Are you just going to go ahead and say, yes, let me go ahead and keep it? Or are you going to keep trying to insist to cancel it, right? Some of these companies, I had an instance years ago where I had a gym membership and I was leaving out of the country for a couple weeks, and they didn't want to cancel my gym membership on the phone. They wanted me to go in physically and hand them a written letter signed by me and dated for me to cancel this gym membership, which I thought was ridiculous. So that's one instance too where some of these companies, they have really bad politics. They have really bad practices as to how to cancel their membership. So you want to make sure nowadays that if you do sign up for a subscription, number one, you want to make sure that's something that you use often. So for instance, Spotify. So a lot of people don't want to use Spotify. They don't want to pay Spotify the $10 or $11 a month, whatever it is now. But if you use it frequently, then yes, it makes sense, right? People don't buy actual music anymore. Everything gets streamed. Another one would be something like if you have dog food. If you buy something from Chewy.com, you're going to get the dog food subscriptions. That's fine. As long as you're aware that you are using the product and it's not just going to waste. Same thing with meal plans, right? You get meal plans such as HelloFresh or maybe Trifecta or other ones. If you're using the product, great. The only thing is sometimes what will happen is maybe you don't use the product entirely and then they bill you automatically and they send you another box when you haven't even finished the previous one. So you do have to be mindful. I recommend that you use your phone, the alerts, or maybe the calendar to be able to make sure that you either skip weeks where maybe they don't send you products, and that way you don't get billed automatically, because nowadays everything gets billed, right? It gets billed to your credit card or your debit card. And also, if you do have subscriptions, I highly recommend that you use a credit card versus a debit card, because you're using other people's money. So if it is some sort of trap, or if you have a dispute, at least it's not your money that you're disputing, it's the credit card company's money. And a lot of these companies, they do have purchase protection, right? So there is a difference between you claiming a dispute with the vendor versus if it's fraud, right? Because there's a lot of fraud out there right now. Whenever you're trying to sign up for a subscription, I recommend that you go online to a website like Google and you do your due diligence about this company. Maybe type in the name of the company and then follow it by the word scam, or try to find out legit reviews. Don't just go off of whatever the website says. And then also, if you do sign up, because I know a lot of the times, a lot of people, they like to download these applications on their phones as well. So there's an application called privacy.com where you can go in and you can create virtual credit card numbers as well. If you think that the company is probably a scam, you can do a virtual credit card, and you can even choose the amount of limit that you want them to charge on that card. So that way, if they try to charge more than what they're advertising, it gets blocked. And also, they don't have your actual credit card information, because you could be scammed, right? These companies, they could take your credit card, and a lot of the times they'll charge you 99 cents and maybe they'll charge you $100 the next day. And so then that requires for you to actually cancel your credit card, go through the whole process of having shipping you a new one. It's just a nightmare going through all these issues. When you are able to cancel these subscriptions that you no longer want, make sure that the confirmations, make sure you create a screenshot and make sure you keep it, because sometimes they go ahead and they say that they cancel it. Maybe they give you a confirmation, but then it doesn't go through. Just because you have a digital confirmation doesn't mean that it got done. I've had instances where you know for a fact that you canceled something, but yet they still keep billing you, right? There's applications out there that allow you to keep track of subscriptions. You have Rocket Money, which is a good one. And also there's another one out there called Truebill. So if you want to look for them as well, that's a very good way. Now, what I usually do to protect myself with subscriptions, like I've signed up for different subscriptions that maybe I want to use for a bit, maybe free trials. And they tell you, okay, well, you can use this for 30 days and then you will be billed $29.99 a month or for something, right? It could be an application you use for work, maybe something that you want to be able to use, such as Uber Eats, right? You have this Uber One subscription. Everybody has subscriptions nowadays. And so usually what I do is I go ahead and I use the free trial. I usually, if they give you 30 days, I usually try to cancel the service probably around 5 days before, probably 72 hours before. The reason why I do it is just to make sure that there's no delays, because sometimes if you do cancel too close to the deadline, maybe they'll still keep trying to bill you. So those are just things that you have to be wary of. I think for every consumer out there nowadays, a lot of them, they're just getting fed up with all the subscriptions that they have. And that can actually siphon a lot of the money every single month. If you start paying attention to how many subscriptions you pay monthly, I know for a fact, well, now I have my dog on raw dog food. I don't have a subscription for that, but I do have to at least keep track of when I have to keep ordering more dog food, right? Before, I actually had a subscription service called Chewy. And so sometimes what will happen is my dog won't go through the entire bag of food, and I'll forget that I actually had another bag of dog food coming, right? So what will happen is maybe I have half of the bag that's been eaten, and then all of a sudden I get a charge on my card again for $80, whatever the dog food is, and then I'll just get it in my doorstep. So they just keep accumulating, right? So what do I do with all of this now? I have all this dog food, so now I'm going to have to start giving it away, which that's something that I am going to have to do. Or also, if I sign up for a meal plan, right? Sometimes they'll give you a certain amount of meals for a whole week, but then what happens if I'm out of town for a couple days, or maybe I didn't finish all the meals? Then I automatically get billed again, hundred and something dollars for another set of meals. And then now what do I have to do? Then I have the meals that are left from the previous plan, and I have to eat the ones that just came in. So that can happen to anyone. If you have a very busy life, it's very hard to keep track of all these subscriptions. Use the technology you have to your advantage. Your phone, use that to your advantage. Create reminders. And also, if you do live with someone else, maybe that person can keep track of it if you're real busy. So it's just things that you have to keep track of. If you do have a lot of subscriptions that you no longer use, by using those apps that I've mentioned, maybe you can save up enough money to be able to invest in some gold and silver, or maybe put it back into your business, and just figure out ways to be able to cut back on unnecessary spending. Subscriptions nowadays are a very bad habit. Also, if you are using the credit cards, make sure you pay those credit cards in full. The interest rates are just ridiculous right now. There's a lot of notorious fees going on right now. The banks want to charge you for everything. Credit cards want to charge you. The interest rates are just getting outrageous. Even if you owe the IRS, I know I'm getting a little bit off topic here, but even if you owe the IRS right now is charging 8%. So it's not really worth it anymore for you to try to play these games with your money. I know a lot of people in the past, they've always said, oh, you can use the credit card and then don't pay it until the bill comes. You can enter into a very dangerous territory there. People think, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and hold my money in a high interest savings account and then wait until the very end. That's not a good idea. If you have a credit card and you're running it up constantly, if that's your main source where you're putting on all your spend, I do recommend that at least once a week, you try to bring it down as much as you can to avoid having any unnecessary late fees or any unnecessary charges from these credit card companies. They're very tricky. If you have any type of suggestions about this, about the subscriptions and how maybe you can go ahead and improve upon that, please leave it in the comments below. I appreciate everybody watching my videos. I have a lot of good content that's going to come up here in the near future. Now it's going to get to a point where soon I am going to be entering income tax season here in January, February, and March and April. But I will continue to try to provide as much content as I can to you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.